From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, July 19th. Another warm and muggy day will shape up for our Wednesday. A few showers and storms will be possible during the afternoon and evening hours, but severe weather isn't expected. Highs look to rise into the mid-80s. Some places could feel like the 90s at times. Applications are now open for 3 new special prosecutors in a new effort to curb gun violence in Indianapolis. It's part of a new partnership between the city and the U.S. Attorney's Office. The City County Council approved $225,000 to fund the new attorney positions. They'll work for the city, but focus exclusively on pursuing federal charges against suspects accused of crimes involving guns. Federal charges could mean longer sentences, no parole, and no cash bail before trial. Zach Myers, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Indiana, says federal law clearly limits what crimes his office can and cannot prosecute. If someone commits crimes in several different locations, we're told local federal prosecutors will now be able to consolidate all of those charges into one trial and negotiate one long prison sentence. Anyone who lives in Marion County can apply to be a federal prosecutor. You must have a law degree and at least 3 years of experience. Some people have sharp concerns about a new state law. You can now own and use throwing stars. The handheld, multi-pointed devices were long outlawed in Indiana and several other states, but lawmakers lifted the ban this year. The initial version of the bill was to allow throwing stars for recreation in places like Ragnarok axe throwing in Castleton. But the General Assembly broadened the measure. ITMate talked with a manager of Ragnarok. He says stars can be fun in the right setting, but dangerous for the novice.
Recreationally, if people are untrained and unsupervised, accidents can happen. The pointed edges can roll completely over and create a hooked blade. And if somebody isn't aware that that's a possibility, they could very easily lacerate their hand.
The throwing star ban ended July 1st. A local group is working to make Indianapolis streets safer. The Community Heights Neighborhood Association placed temporary water barriers along 10th Street from Emerson to Arlington. It's called tactical urbanism. The group says its goal is to create a temporary solution to encourage the city to find a permanent one.
Cars act like dragsters, so they see this wide open road and they think, I can go faster, there's nothing ahead of me. And so that's really what we're trying to do here, or what we're trying to test here, is if we break it up, do cars follow the law?
The barriers are allowed through a city program, but paid for by the community where they're located. Anyone interested in applying for a tactical urbanism project can do so by submitting a form to the Department of Public Works. One of the state's prized places reopens today. Hail badly damaged the dome roof of the West Baden Springs Hotel atrium last month. It's been closed off to visitors since then. French Lake Resort says workers have installed temporary covers for the broken glass panels as they make permanent repairs. The resort says the atrium will reopen to guests at 5 this evening for cocktails and music. Then dining will return later. In DeKalb County, state police say a man mowing grass along I-69 is badly hurt after a semi hit the tractor he was on. It happened just before noon yesterday north of Auburn. State police say the mower was doing contract work for INDOT. The wreck shut down traffic for nearly 4 hours. At last update, the man on the mower was in critical condition. Police say the semi-driver was also taken to the hospital for evaluation and blood tests that are required in serious crashes. The man accused of the murder of an Elwood police officer is trying to avoid the death penalty. The attorneys for Carl Roy Webb Borge II say he has an intellectual disability, making him ineligible to be put to death. Police say Borge shot and killed 24-year-old officer Noah Shanavez during a routine traffic stop last July. A hearing on the intellectual disability claim is set for September. Borge's murder trial is scheduled for January of 2025. The Missouri man accused of killing Indiana State Trooper Aaron Smith wants a change of venue for his upcoming trial. Eddie Jones wants his trial to be moved out of Hendricks County or to have a jury brought in from another county. He's accused of leading police on a chase that killed Smith as Smith was trying to deploy stop sticks. The judge hasn't decided on Jones' request. He's due in court for a pretrial conference August 21st at 8 a.m. The city of Indianapolis is joining a national lawsuit to hold Kia and Hyundai liable for the rise in car thefts. A viral TikTok challenge is encouraging people to steal the cars by highlighting their security flaws. The lawsuit blames the automakers for a lack of safeguards and seeks reimbursement for public safety costs. IMPD says there's been a 350% increase in Kia thefts this year. A news conference starts at 10 o'clock this morning at IMPD's Northwest District. The attorney for the man who shot and killed the Greenwood Park Mall gunman is looking back on the attack. A year ago Monday, a man pulled out a gun and started shooting inside the food court. 3 people died, 2 were wounded. Police say there would have been more casualties if Elijah Dickens hadn't acted that day. Dickens' attorney describes how that day has impacted his client.
People understandably want to call him a hero because he is, and talk about how he saved lives because he did. He saved countless lives. But you have to understand that's still a difficult thing for a good, moral young man like Eli. That's still a difficult thing to go through.
Greenwood police said last week they were able to unlock the gunman's phone. Investigators say they found photos of Hitler, Nazi propaganda, videos of mass killings, and suicidal notes. The state of Indiana is fighting the newest effort to block an abortion ban. The Attorney General's office filed a request this week for a Marion County judge to reject a challenge to the law. The group Hoosier Jews for Choice is suing, saying the claim the near-total ban on abortions violates the state's religious freedom law. In a ruling on a different lawsuit, the state Supreme Court ruled the abortion ban does not violate Indiana's Constitution. That decision clears the way for the enforcement to start next month. The first comments from a couple credited with ending a massive manhunt. The search started July 6th when authorities say Michael Burham broke out of a jail in Pennsylvania. This week, Rob and Cindy Eklund called police to say Burham was on their property. They say their dog spotted him first.
The second he stood up, we knew. Like, all of you, the pictures were everywhere. There's no way you could not look at him and know that who it was. If you want to talk about how afraid we were, the 911 call, the people on the phone had to have thought I was nuts, because I was I was pretty adamant and saying, please, you need to get here. He's in my backyard.
The Eklunds say they've gotten some of the reward money from the case and anticipate getting the rest soon. As for the new charges against Burham, the local prosecutor is asking the state to take over the case because jail staffers could face charges. A major heat record has been broken in Phoenix, Arizona. Yesterday marked the 19th straight day the city reached 110 degrees or more. It breaks the previous record of 18 straight days set in 1974. The city reached temperatures as high as 117 yesterday with a low of 94. That also sets a record as the 9th consecutive day with temperatures not falling below 90 degrees. An excessive heat warning remained in effect through Friday. Former President Donald Trump is joking about his next legal battle. Trump confirmed yesterday that the Justice Department sent him a notice known as a target letter, letting him know he's a focus of an investigation into efforts to overturn the 2020 election. After revealing the news, he made a campaign stop in Iowa, lashing out at prosecutors and the president and making light of the mounting court cases he faces.
We have a man, the only way he can get elected is to weaponize the Justice Department, which he's gone around doing. I didn't know practically what a subpoena was and grand juries and all of this. Now I'm like becoming an expert. I have no choice because we have to.
16 Republicans in Michigan face felony charges for acting as fake electors for Trump after the 2020 vote. The state's attorney general filed the charges yesterday. The group includes the head of Michigan's chapter of the Republican National Committee and a former party chair for the state. The group's accused of submitting false certificates claiming they were legitimate electors, even though Joe Biden won the vote in Michigan. Police in Las Vegas confirmed they have served a search warrant linked to the killing of rapper Tupac Shakur. Shakur was shot to death in 1996. Police have never arrested anyone for his death. Las Vegas police say they did a search Monday in the nearby city of Henderson. They're not saying exactly what they were looking for or if they found it. And this morning, we're learning more details about the American soldier detained in North Korea. Officials say Private Second-Class Travis King was detained after fleeing from South Korea across the heavily armed border into North Korea. According to U.S. officials, King had recently been released from a nearly 2-month prison sentence in South Korea. They say he was being held on assault charges and was supposed to be on his way home to Texas. Officials say King was taken to the airport, but instead he left and bolted across the border. The U.S. Defense Department says it is closely monitoring the situation. North Korea has not addressed the detainment. Investigators say a gas leak may have led to a deadly chocolate factory explosion. The March blast at Pennsylvania's R.M. Palmer plant killed 7 people. A preliminary report from the National Transportation Safety Board finds a gas fitting installed in 1982 had ruptured. Investigators also say the fitting was known to have a tendency to crack, but was left in place during work as recently as 2021. A legal battle over Taco Tuesday is over. Taco John's is abandoning its claim of exclusive rights of the phrase, ending a policy of protecting it in a fight that dates back decades. Taco Bell had recently appealed to trademark regulators, saying Taco Tuesday is now so widely used that no one can own it. The move by Taco John's frees up the phrase for anyone to use in 49 states. New Jersey is still disputed, though. A restaurant there says it claimed ownership of Taco Tuesday long before Taco John's. Taylor Swift fans, you may want to make plans to visit IU. The school says it will host a public forum on the superstar singer. The forum is not until November, but there is already a lot of interest. Organizers of the event say they've already received 60 proposals on topics that could be talked about at the event. The forum will be called Taylor Swift: The Concert Era. It's a play on her most recent music tour. Event organizers say scholars from the Jacobs School of Music and the Kelley School of Business will lend their knowledge about topics on Taylor Swift. As one of the most popular artists in the music business right now, and has been for quite some time, one of the event coordinators says that there's a lot to learn from Taylor Swift as a businesswoman. A schedule of who will be presenting at the forum hasn't been released yet. We're told, however, that Taylor Swift theme will run throughout Bloomington. Local coffee shops will serve Swiftie-themed drinks, and different venues will host karaoke and dance nights. The forum is November 3rd through the 5th. Several hundred people have already signed up. This is a public event. It is free. You do need to RSVP. We've made it easy for you to do that on wishtv.com. And today is your next chance to become a billionaire. The Powerball drawing is at 11 o'clock tonight. No one has won the jackpot since mid-April, leading to the current total. The payout will be at least $1 billion if you choose yearly payments, or roughly $517 million if you want it all at once. If sales soar as expected, both numbers are likely to be even higher by the time of the drawing. And to business headlines, Meta has rolled out the first feature update to Threads since its launch earlier this month. The company introduced a Follows tab that will presumably make it easier for users to see who's following them. Users will also be able to access a translate button to read texts in other languages. U.S. regulators announced a nationwide crackdown to stop illegal robocalls and telemarketing calls. The crackdown, known as Operation Stop Scam Calls, involves the Federal Trade Commission and 101 other federal and state law enforcement authorities. Authorities also want to stop lead generators that trick consumers, such as by offering free awards or job interviews, into providing personal information that can be sold to telemarketers, and consent to receive unwanted solicitations. Fast food giant In-N-Out is banning employees in 5 states from wearing masks unless they have a medical note. Employees in Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Texas, and Colorado will be affected by the policy, which is slated to start August 14th per the memo. The only states that are exception to the new policy are California and Oregon. Microsoft shares closed at a record after the company announced pricing for its new Microsoft 365 artificial intelligence subscription service. Microsoft's Copilot subscription service adds AI to the company's popular Office products such as Word, Excel, and Teams. It will cost an additional $30 a month. And according to a new survey, 2 in 3 dog owners claim their dogs could never survive in the wild without them. Commissioned by Now Fresh and conducted by OnePoll, the survey found the average person believes their pup could only take care of themselves for a maximum of 2 days. A third give their dogs less than a single day. Many said their dogs live a life of luxury compared to their ancestors. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.